Am I recording? I think I am. Second video party. Nat, can you close the door? Because I have to film near this plant and I don't want you to hear me. Today I am in a new filming spot with this wonderful plant. Do you see this wonderful plant? Because it is too bright over there. It's just, morning is not a great time to film, guys. The lighting is just wrong everywhere. So welcome back to my channel. It's really weird to say that because it means that I posted another video, which means this is my second video, which means I'm on YouTube. It's weird. It's really weird. It's really weird. So today I am here and I am gonna be bringing you a little bit of an advice video. I saw this video on Reagan's channel, Prue's Project, and she had an advice video on how to read more while you're in school or when you're in work or when you have like basically a busy lifestyle. And I really liked the video, and so I thought I could put my own spin on it because I read a lot and I'm also in school and you know I have to balance that. So I thought, well, I could give you a good idea. So before I start, I would like to just say that first of all, reading is a hobby. This is something that you should probably remember when trying to read in school. Reading is a hobby and you should never make it feel like a chore, because I mean when you're in school you have already a lot of required readings and homework and it's stressful, especially if you get like full days of school. Like sometimes I have school from like 9 to 6 and it's so tiring. So if you just don't feel like reading, don't read. Don't feel like you have to read all the time. That's not something that's very pleasant. Okay, so tip number 1. Don't compare your reading pace to other people. Everyone reads at a different pace. Some people read super fast, some people read super slow, some people can read 8 books a month, some people can read 1 book a month. It's fine. It's fine. Everyone reads at a different pace. And I know with Goodreads and with book blogs and, you know, challenges and readathon, it can feel like you're trying to compete with a lot of people and like you have to keep on pace with them. But the thing is, you don't. Like, it's just really you and how much you can read and how fast you can read. It's not about them, it's about you. So make sure you're comfortable with your reading pace, because if you're uncomfortable with your reading pace, you're gonna start hating reading. Like what I mentioned before, you don't want to start hating reading because it's a hobby. Keep it as a hobby. If you start to hate your hobby, it's not gonna be fun. And my second tip for you is to find a consistent time every day to read. So what I do when I'm in school, I'm currently on holiday, but when I'm in school, what I do is I read on the bus journeys to school and from school, because I have a pretty long bus journey. I'm quite blessed in the fact that I have one straight bus to school, but that also means that I'm on that bus for about, depending on traffic, 30 to 40 minutes. So that's back and forth. That gives me about an hour 15 minutes of reading time total in a day, which is actually really good. And so I like to read on the bus when I find a seat, and I'll just sit down and I'll just read the whole way. So when I go to school, sometimes, because I bring my laptop to school, obviously I'm in poly, so, and, go away, thank you. So obviously I read when I'm in school because I have my laptop, and so I have iBooks, and because I have iBooks, when I'm waiting for lectures to start, or when our lecturers give us breaks, or when I have lunch or something like that, I tend to read like during those times. And I know that may not suit everybody, but basically you just kind of need to find it in your schedule to read and work it into the way you function. Basically, the basic thing is to work it into your schedule and find a consistent time to read every day. That will mean that you get a good amount of reading done every single day and you're being consistent. And also that will avoid days when you actually just don't read at all. And the next tip is something that Reagan mentioned in her video, but I want to elaborate on it because it's so true. So tip number 3 is basically to avoid long books. So a lot of books that you come across usually around the usual 300-400 pages, but then you have the mammoth books like the Game of Thrones series or any other series that you can think of, maybe Outlander, that are actually like 600 pages long, 700 pages long, and they can be crazy long. And if you're in school, it can be hard to find time to read these mammoth books, and because of that, you feel like you're taking longer and longer to read. And that can really discourage a person. Like, I know even, like, I get super discouraged when I take a really long time to finish a book because I feel like I'm not accomplishing enough, and it depresses me, honestly. So if you're in school and you want to keep reading, you know, if you want to keep up this consistent reading habit, then I would suggest going for shorter books, like about 400 maximum pages. Of course, you can go for your longer books if you want, but I don't recommend it because it can make you feel very demoralized, and also it can feel a bit monotonous reading the same book every single day, especially when you already have school, which is quite monotonous in itself. You don't really want to be reading a monotonous book unless it's like super good or something. My fourth point is to read 2 books at a time. Now this is a really weird tip because if you're in school, you probably already have a lot of schoolwork, and to add on 2 hobby readings into your workload, it can be quite stressful. But it's kind of something that you just learn how to do. You just learn how to read more than one book. What I suggest is getting a heavier book and a lighter book. So for example, I might pick a light contemporary read, like perhaps P.S. I Love You, and then I would get a heavier book like maybe An Emperor in the Ashes or A Court of Thorns and Roses. So that would mean that I have this choice when I go to pick up a book. So in a day, if maybe I had a pretty hard day, I had a 9 to 6 day and I'm just tired, but I also want to read, maybe I'll pick up P.S. I Love You because it's a lighter read, it's contemporary, and it's funny, it's gonna make me laugh, it's not too serious. But maybe if I've had a pretty light day and I'm looking for something a bit more adventurous, maybe I would pick up A Court of Thorns and Roses. So yeah, you give yourself this option basically to read whichever you want. And the final point, the 5th point, I think it's the 5th point, is to have buddy reads. Now if you don't know what a buddy read is, basically it's reading with a buddy. It can be an internet friend, it can be a real life friend, though let's face it, how often do you find a real life person that actually reads? Sorry. Buddy reading is really fun, basically. It's basically where you agree on a set number of chapters to read per day, and then you'll just read it and then you'll discuss it. And it's super fun because it gives you... This plant is bothering me. Anyway, it's super fun because it means that you get to read and discuss, and you know, you're reading with a friend. And it also keeps you on track because, like, even if you feel like, oh, I'm too tired to read today, you know, it kind of pushes you to read a little bit. So that is all the tips I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. Reading in school is never easy. You know, maintaining a hobby like reading when you're in school, or maintaining any hobby really when you're in school, it requires, you know, a set plan. It requires, you know, managing your time properly, and it can get quite difficult. I admit it can get quite difficult. Even like blogging, it's really hard to do when I'm in school. In fact, you guys know, over the last like August, I pretty much didn't post at all because I was in school and I had exams. So maintaining a hobby, no matter what it is, reading, blogging, anything, it's difficult when you're in school. So don't put too much stress on yourself. Don't pressure yourself to keep up with it. Remember, hobbies should be fun, and it should be something that helps you cope and de-stress that, and it shouldn't stress you out more. If you like this video, click the like button and subscribe. I just wanted to say thank you for all the support on my last video as well. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out. I'll leave a link to that in the description bar, as well as links to all my social media and my blog. So you can follow me there, show me some love, and that's it basically. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon. This plant is annoying me. It's touching my arm, it's annoying me. But I really like this place. It's nice.